For many Americans, a love affair with Portugal blossomed over the last 3 years. The Iberian nation offered cheap real estate, miles of beautiful coastline, and a reprieve from divisive U.S. politics at a time when remote work was flourishing. Now, reality has settled in, and the honeymoon is over. From language barriers and bureaucratic challenges to housing costs that have been driven higher by foreign investment, some experts say that life in Portugal hasn't met their expectations. The country is losing its appeal for potential newcomers too, after pulling its golden visa program in February. Several expat services, consultants, and bloggers say there's been a decrease in the number of foreigners looking to relocate to Portugal. Get Golden Visa, an international residency program, recorded a 37% drop in the number of inquiries from Americans for its Portugal programs in the first quarter, and an 18% drop for all expats compared with the same period last year. People who inquired last winter about moving to Portugal have, for the most part, not followed through, said David McNeil, founder of consulting company Expat Empire. It's a significant about-face from recent years. As the work-from-anywhere revolution took hold during the pandemic, Portugal lured foreigners with its residency by investment program, digital nomad visas, and tax savings, a flat 20% income tax for certain professionals for 10 years of residence, and no tax on foreign income for non-residents. The number of foreign residents surged in the 7 recent years to an all-time high, 700,000, and the number of Americans more than tripled to 9,794 between 2018 and 2022, according to official statistics. And the influx of new residents has strained Portugal's housing supply. Home prices jumped 19% in 2022, and the largest annual gain since 1991, and rent has surged too, ballooning 43% year over year in Lisbon to €1,693, according to real estate site Idealista. The increased cost of living is part of what's deterring foreigners, many of whom are unable to afford real estate in their home countries, and are looking for cheaper options as they head into retirement or rely on low-wage jobs. The lack of affordable housing has also drawn the ire of some Portuguese citizens, and the government responded in February by pulling the Golden Visa program to slow the influx of foreign money. The program had brought in €7 billion since it was launched in 2012. Americans were granted 216 golden visas last year alone, surpassing Chinese as the top recipients of golden visas in Portugal in 2022, according to immigration statistics. To be sure, Portugal's digital nomad visa continues to be popular. The program, introduced last October, allows non-EU remote workers earning at least €2,800 a month to live in the country for up to 5 years. In 6 months, 930 such visas were granted, according to Portugal's immigration department, with Americans receiving the most. And the US of dollar remains strong, allowing Americans to purchase property in Europe and enjoy a different lifestyle. And many hurdles new residents complain about are ordinary administrative tasks that most expats face when moving to a new country. Still, expats are increasingly considering other options. Specialty of France are receiving the highest volume of inquiries these days. Even said U.S. cross-border tax expert Darren Hayden Joseph, as wealthy Americans look to move to more developed countries in Southern Europe. It comes down to the quality of life, said Joseph. People want good access to amenities and easy-to-figure-out tax and visa systems. Janik Hansen, a 33-year-old Danish blogger who first moved to Lisbon in November 2020, has experienced bureaucratic headaches. He and his partner moved outside the city, in turn away from public transit, to save on rent. But he hasn't been able to receive his Portuguese driver's license, despite applying 2 years ago. Now they want to leave the country. The country was never set up to welcome this many expats at once, he said. A lot of people come for a year,
and leave after 6 months. In some cases, the turnaround is even quicker. Carrie Lane, a retired animal control manager from Minnesota, abandoned her plans to settle in the small inland town of Pinella after 3 months and moved back to Duluth. Despite signing a 1-year lease, her apartment never became available and she was forced to seek temporary housing. She was also dissatisfied with the specialist she found to help with her chronic eye condition and was upset with the unwelcoming staff at the local hospital. "I didn't realize I was going to hit that many roadblocks," said Lang, 58. "I'm not the kind of person who can deal with all this uncertainty." There have been similar hassles for Meredith Graham, 53-year-old from California. She spent close to $20,000 on her move to Lisbon in November, relocating to be closer to a family in Spain. The software product manager found a 3-bedroom apartment for about 2,000 euros a month, but her application for tax incentives has been denied twice. It also took her lawyer to 2 months to get her address registered with the state. It's death by 1,000 cuts, she said of the small adaptations to life in Portugal, including what the Californian described as unexpectedly cold winters.